Hello, you're listening to Radio Lewis. At the fourth Croak, it will be 25 o'clock precisely. And unsurprisingly, time for the 25 o'clock show with me, the Velvet Curtain. Now obviously, for the good of the nation and indeed the planet, I can't be drawn on what exactly my plans for the show are. But what I can tell you, dear listener, is if you stick with it through to the sticky end, you will have arrived at the beginning and all will be revealed. First up, a rap song about owls. Better get these frogs out of here.
This lab ain't for fun, so we leave our fun owls at home. This lab is for science, so we need a science owl. We got our owls from the shelf over there at the top with the other birds that are used for science.
Yeah, me, I prefer a peregrine hawk, but every now and then you need a bird that can squawk.
Yeah, hawks are great and eagles too, but when you drop your mad science, only owls will do.
Rotate your owl. Rotate your owl. Rotate your owl. Move your owl around until you break new ground.
Give me an owl, I move it up, I move it down, I move it side to side, I move my owls with pride.
Yeah, but if you want something more special, come see me. I move my owls really professionally.
But I paid all my bills for college by using all my owl rotation knowledge. Come on, y'all, stop with the back chatter, cause the owl-based science is all that matters.
Rotate your owl. Rotate your owl. Rotate your owl. Rotate your owl for science.
All people always ask me, what do we learn by wobbling our owls or giving them a turn?
Not really much, but let's be clear. The owls don't care cause they're still living here.
Let's be honest, what else they gonna do? Go live in a wood and eat a mouse or two?
Good luck to them, there's no mice round here. I collected them all to feed a mutant deer.
What's that all about then? When you arrive at the beginning, you arrive at the end, or when you arrive at the end, you arrive at the beginning. What a load of
Well, I'd hardly expect someone like you to know anything about T.S. Eliot, would I? So, that was Rotate Your Owl from Mr. Weeble, and that's from their album Shabby Bacon Hat. Coming up next, David Bowie and Black Star. We often have David on the show, in fact we have him on every time. This track lasts about 9 minutes, so sit back and relax.
In the villa of our men, in the villa of our men, stands a solitary candle. In the center of it all, in the center of it all, you are. In the villa of all men, in the villa of all men, stands a solitary candle. At the center of it all, at the center of it all, your eyes, your
Something happened on the day he died. Spirit rose a meter and stepped aside. Somebody else took his place and bravely cried, I'm a black star, I'm a black star. How many times does an angel fall? How many people lie instead of talking tall? He trod on sacred ground, he cried loud into the crowd, I'm a black star, I'm a black star, I'm not against you.
I can't answer why. Just go with me. I'ma take you home. Take your passport and shoes and your sedatives and booze. You're the flash in the pan. I'm the great I am.
I'm a black star, I'm a black star, way off my money, I've got game. I see right so wide, so open heart, it's pain. I want equals in my daydreams, diamonds in my eyes. I'm a black star, I'm a black star. Something happened on the day he died. Spirit rose a meter, then stepped aside. Somebody else took his place and bravely cried, I'm a black star, I'm a star star, I'm a black
solitary candle. At the center of it all, your on the day of execution, only women kneel and smile. At the center of it all,
Coming up now, a band originally signed onto the Apple label by Paul McCartney. A splendid band, actually, purveyors of fine pop rock, and if there was any justice in the world, and the Velvet Curtain is here to bring justice to the world, they'd be up there with the Kinks, and the Small Faces, and the Who. Badfinger were dealt a slightly bad hand in life, no pun intended. Quite a tragic story if you read through. You probably might know them from stuff like Come and Get It and No Matter What. Both brilliant songs, but this one's called Baby Blue, and it's followed by Joni Mitchell with Blue. Enjoy both.
Yes, I got what I deserve. Kept you waiting there too long, my love. All that time without a word. Didn't know you'd think
Songs are like tattoos, you know I've been to sea before. Crown and anchor me, or let me sail away. Hey blue, there is a song for you, ink on a pen. Underneath the skin, an empty space to fill in. Well, there's so many sinking now, you gotta keep thinking you can make it through these waves. Acid, booze and ass, needles, guns and grass, lots of laughs. Lots of laughs. Everybody's saying that hell's the hippest way to go. Well, I don't think so, but I'm gonna take a look around at the blue. Shell for you. Inside you'll hear a sigh, a foggy lullaby. There is your song from me.
Coming up now, some people you would probably choose not to have living in your luxury flat in Fulham. It's time to meet the residents.
Now that it's over, the grass and the clover grow over the ground where I lay. Come back, Petunia, come back, I Petunia. I'm hoping Sonia, I'm hoping Sonia, that will make the stay.
So that was a Guy Lombardo from their album Meet the Residents, and coming up now a track by the Small Faces called Here Comes the Nice, and I'm pretty sure they're not talking about Keith Emerson's pre-ELP prog rock behemoth.
Here come the nice, looking so good. He makes me feel like no one else could. He knows what I want, he's got what I need. He's always there if I need some speed. Here come the night, it's understood. Here come the night, they make you feel so good. I'd be just like him if I only could. You know you should meet the man. The man gonna help you all he can. You don't need money to be wise. Here come the night, it's understood. Here come the night, it makes me feel so good. I'd be just like him if I only could. You know you should. Here comes the night, looking so cool. Everyone knows the nice is no fool. He'll bring you up and show you around. He's always there if your feet hit the ground. Here come the night, understood. Here come the night, it makes me feel good. I'd be just like him if I only could. You know you should. You know you got to try to be the man. The man. This man's gonna teach you all he can. You don't need money to open your eyes. Here come the night, understood. Here come the night, it makes me feel good. I'd be just like him if I only
Fancy a bit of jazz? No, wait. No, I promise you it's nice and tuneful. It's that kind of like free form, kind of like nice kind of jazz that you have to listen to where everyone takes millions of solos. It's actually by Louis Armstrong. It's called East St. Louis Toodaloo. It's really good. You'll like this. Check it out. okay, so it's Duke Ellington and not Louis Armstrong. Everyone makes mistakes, don't they? Do you ever make mistakes?
Well, I'm certainly beginning to think we made a mistake choosing you as the new Velvet Curtain. Not much chance of you saving the planet, is there?
Look, you little blue git, I know one mistake I did make is choosing you as a co-presenter.
You didn't choose me. I was appointed by High Command, and I can get rid of you just like that.
Well, considering you're only 1 foot high, I think there might be more of a problem than you imagine. Tell you what, how's this for a link? Are you feeling flush?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Get off me! Get off me!
Time for some relaxing music, I think. Poptastic, mate. So you're listening to the 25 o'clock show, and a bit of Tammy Wynette coming up. Oh no, tell a lie. Mrs. Curtains has just popped in to do a spot of hoovering. Tammy Wynette later, hoovering first. There's nothing like a good clean studio.
Inside of a barroom, or listen to a jukebox all night long. But I see these are the things that bring you pleasure, so I'm gonna make some changes in our home. I've heard it said, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. So if that's the way you've wanted me to be, I'll change if it takes that to make you happy. From now on we're gonna see a different me, because you're good girls are gonna go bad. I'm gonna be the swingin'est swinger you've ever had. If you like 'em painted up, powdered up, then you ought to be glad, 'cause you're good girls are gonna go bad. I'll even learn to like the taste of whiskey. In fact, you'll hardly recognize your wife. I'll buy some brand new clothes and dress up fancy for my journey to the wilder side of life. Because you're good, girl, you're gonna go bad. I'm gonna be the swingin'est swinger you've ever had. If you like 'em painted up, powdered up, then you ought to be glad. 'Cause you're good, girl, you're gonna go bad. Oh yeah, you're good, girl, you're gonna go bad.
The 25 o'clock show, where the music mutters.
Muttley, I distinctly told you to tell her to say it's where the music matters, not mutters. So, we've just heard from Tammy Wynette, long before she became Justified and Ancient. That was a track called Your Good Girl's Gonna Go Bad. Bit of a classic, actually, and if you listen to the content of the lyric there, you'll understand that it wasn't that easy being a country and western female singer back in those days, but she got through it brilliantly. Good stuff, Tammy. Original Riot Girl in lots of ways. Talking of Riot Girls, coming up now it's Sleater Keeney and Carrie Brownstein, A New Wave. Okay, predominantly male rock fans, it's time now for a bit of a classic by Deep Purple called Highway Star. So if you're fans of John Lord, Ritchie Blackmore, etc., get out your air guitars and prepare for the big solo. And if you're also a big fan of John Lord as I am, get out your air organs and prepare for that solo as well. A warning now from the 25 o'clock show, however, both activities can look unusual to the untrained observer. So if you are indulging of either of those activities, or indeed both, best to do it in the privacy of your own room and keep the curtains closed. All right. And now on the 25 o'clock show, a tune for my father on the occasion of his 117th birthday. He was a big fan of light music composers such as Coates and the splendidly named Ronald Binge. Ronald Binge, what a great name. He composed Elizabethan Serenade. His favourite, however, of these composers was Thomas Albert Kettleby, and this is one of his favourite tracks. It's called In a Monastery Garden from Kettleby's album Kettleby the Day. Now that's a light music joke actually, it's not really from that at all. I like this anyway. Lots of Tweety Birds at the beginning. I think Pink Floyd nicked most of their ideas from this. So, you may be wondering, if the Velvet Curtain's father is 117 years old, how old is the Velvet Curtain? Well, he was quite old when I was born, but I can tell you, if you want to know how old Velvet Curtain... Well, I'm very well, thank you. Cheers for asking.
The Velvet Curtain, the Velvet Curtain.
At the fourth croak, you will hear Nico's Frozen Warnings from her album The Marble Index.
Freie hermit stumbles over the cloudy borderline. Frozen warnings close to mine, close to the frozen borderline. Frozen warnings close to mine, close to the frozen borderline. Into numberless reflections rises a smile from your eyes. Into mine, frozen warnings close to mine, close to the frozen borderline. Frozen warnings close to mine, close to the frozen borderline. Over railroad station tracks, faintly flickers a modest cry. From without 1,000 cycles, 1,000 cycles to come, 1,000 times to win, 1,000 ways to run the world. In a similar reply, fire hermit stumbles over the cloudy borderline. Frozen warnings close to mine, close to the frozen borderline. Frozen warnings close to mine, close to the frozen borderline. Close to the frozen borderline. Close to the frozen borderline. Close to the frozen borderline.
Right, now on the 25 o'clock show, we partially write, or, well, write as much as we can, a historic wrong. I have in my hands here a LP, a white label LP called A Secret Liverpool. It's addressed to, well, it's scrawled on the front, it says, it's crossed out, Kid, Dave Jensen. A Secret Liverpool, 16 fantastic songs from the Riotous Hues, the High Five, Ex Post Facto, El Argaroo, Roy G. Biv, The Hearts, A Spirit, a Kindergarten Paint Set, etc., and blah 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 and other things. Well, I got this from the Record and Tape Exchange, I think somewhere back in about 1983 or something, like a long time ago. It says, Dear Mr. Jensen, please play this LP, side 2 is best. Well, clearly it never did get played, so I've had it all these years, so I'm going to play this track by Roy G. Biv called The Day I Grew Forever. Nope, the time I
One
grew
sunny,
clever.
bright, sparkly day in late June, and in my room, I find myself eating this peach of all things. It tasted so good and it quenched my thirst wonderfully. Then I just started to grow. I grew and grew. I split the house I was in. I trod on the bus going past. I had to. I looked down at my foot spreading over the garden. Well above the clouds I stepped over to Ireland. By this time I was so big I stepped to New York. I had an Empire State splinter in my very big toe. I grew and grew and grew. I reached the moon. I took a large step for man and a giant leap for mankind, and went flying past Jupiter. I grew, and I grew, and grew, and grew. I swam and fell in a galaxy of stars coming from nowhere. I came across a deceptive facade of solidity. The restless surge of the liquid state engulfed every light year of me. I smelt the willful ways of gas. I got down to the enigmatic heart of the matter and the basic ingredients of the complex world. I saw and touched everything. I floated in the spectrum. Things became recognizable. A speck of dust, I was in my room. A crumb in my colourful carpet. I grew and grew. I stood on the floor my normal size. I sat on my chair my normal size. I gazed at the sky through the hole in the roof my normal size.
And so, once again, we reach the end, or well, damn nearly the end of the 25 o'clock show here on Radio Lewis. And it remains only to thank Hugh the listener for listening, and we wave an emotional goodbye to my colleague and friend, my ex-co-presenter, Little Blue Alien Buddy, whose name, according to him, is unpronounceable by us mere earthlings. As you know, he had to withdraw after feeling a little flushed. So, goodbye to him. Next time on the 25 o'clock show, we receive a visit from the man from Uncool. Listen to this trailer to find out what's going to happen. It just remains for me to assure you that no frogs or indeed owls were harmed in the making of this show, apart from one really annoying one which frankly was getting on everyone's nerves.
Next time on the 25 o'clock show, we take a visit from the man from Uncool. Yes, along with you, the listener, we will choose the music that you love to hate. From Manzabani to rock ballads to the Carpenters to Phil Collins. Yes, I said Phil Collins, the man from Uncool. See you then. Bye.
Mother Earth is pregnant for the third time, for y'all have knocked her up. I have tasted the maggots in the mind of the universe. I was not offended, for I knew I had to rise above it all, or drown in my own shit.
Bye.